YouTube top 8 grand finale and top deck list of the Meta Weekly. In today's event, we have unbanned Mermail. Mermail 2-1, so we should have a few or at least one Tearlament in the top 8. And alongside that, we have banned Door now, so fret not, there's no Door up there. It's still decently a competitively viable deck. X-Ryzeal is also banned, Maxi is banned, Apollo is banned, and newly banned is Moon of the Closed Heaven due to your popular demand on that. Now, you can let me know in the comments any other bans or changes you would like with the ban list. Should we go back on the Mermail, or it was an okay idea to do so? By watching as long as you can, that greatly supports these videos, even if you have us on in the background. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
I Connect is going to special summon from the hand and search for a circular. That did a lot. You up, mate? What do we have? We could Forbidden Drop to try to stop what they have. Well, we can try to banish the MTP, return it back with the Cryptor, then reset it with the White Rabbit, all to have the non-target banish, as we also have the Cryptor non-target banish, as we also have the ability to send a card from the field and hand to the graveyard with the Super Factorial and give us a negate. And in addition to that, we have a negate with the Maliss and Mirror. We can negate anything with the Allied Code Talker. We could negate a Spell and Trap card with the Deceiver. We can negate another card in the field with the Terahertz. We also, I feel like we're missing something. Okay, just 8 disruption, only 8, so it's balanced. Droplet, send 2 to negate 2. Negate. So from 8, we only have 6 disruption now. It's got to be over for us. Neprum is going to be adding the Hollow Core. We're going to Super Factorial, give us a negate, and send from the field in hand to the Gravemate. Ooh, this is going to mess everything up. You are not going to be able to go into the negate play. So we lose our Diameter negate. We lose the ability to send cards in the hand and field to the grave. So we're now down to 4 disruption. Hollow Core, and as we now chain GWC, why are we doing this? We could Binder, banish the Gem Knight Fusion to ensure that if we wanted to summon a Binder, we're just going to get the Cryptor out early, actually. So the play I thought we would do, we're not doing. We're now going into a Quartz. With Dispersion, we could use the deck only if we have the Gem Knight Fusion in Graveyard, which we do thanks to the Hollow Core. Now, Hollow Core cannot negate whatever we want unless we go into a Fusion Summon. Well, by negating the Quartz from searching for a Dispersion, we're also negating its secondary effect of Fusion Summoning into that Gem Knight Fusion. Banish the White Rabbit. We don't even have room to summon the White Rabbit. We're going to Cryptor. Return back the White Rabbit to non-target banish away the Serenir. Super Poly, not even activatable since we have no card to discard. Oh my Jesus. Am I missing something? Did they play a single duel? Abomod played against SK, and then he disappeared. What happened between Abomod and SK after Abomod lost game 1? He DC'd, he disconnected, it happens. IRL, I guess he fell out of his chair and all his cards flew everywhere for the next duel, which does result in a loss. It's an irreparable game state. He spilt his juice, his milk all over the place, and we unfortunately now have to move on. We have Mermail, Atlantean, versus Gizmek, or I should say Branded is here. Earl GB, you up, mate? Begin. Guiding Quem is going to send a Cartesia from the deck to the grave as we follow up with the Branded Fusion into our Lubellian Searing. We're waiting to use the Droll and Lockbird, which they have not added yet. Quem is going to be triggering alongside the Lubellian to further reborn the Cartesia. Serenir is going to send from the deck to the graveyard a branded card here, or a Bishop Lubellian, as we now go into our Mirror Jade. Serenir, banishing Serenir, so we could tribute it off for the Lubellian here. Activate to play our Branded Regain to draw a card every turn. I like to call this the Triforce, where you have a Quem, Cartesia, and Mirror Jade. You could Mirror Jade non-target banish, then you could fuse off the Mirror Jade with the Cartesia, and then you could use the Quem to reborn the Mirror Jade back to then non-target banish again. So that's double Mirror Jade plus whatever we fuse into. We also have a Nibiru as a form of disruption. We could use the, we got that. Let's go. What is the Gizmek doing exactly, if I remember this correctly? If a monster is special summoned from the main deck, you could special summon this card from your hand. If this card is summoned, you could target one face-up card your opponent controls, special summon from your hand or deck, an attack that equals its own defense with the same attribute as that monster. Okay, we'll wait to see when that actually happens. Sekka's Light, go for the draw 2 play. Now, by Sekka Lighting, it states that, let's read this. If you have no spell and trap cards, draw 2. For the rest of the duel, after you activate this card, you cannot activate your finger. Finger's dead. No fingering for you. We're gonna return a monster back in the deck, draw a card, double dead finger. Minstrel looking at the hand, get rid of that Nibiru. Squad is gonna trigger to summon for the deck. Regain's gonna return the Nibiru back to draw 1. Drew a Swarm, but we are not playing later dark cards. Not gonna be that good. Abyss Pike on someone's gonna send Dragoons to search our deck for a Mermail, trigger and regain to reborn from engrave our Serenir. Now, after we add, the Dragoons will further trigger. We have not used up our normal summon yet. We now have Abyss Shrine, which could summon a level 7 from the deck as we grab a Poseidra from the deck. Poseidra is going to get rid of the Pike from the hand to summon, to target a card in the field, send from the deck an infantry, return the Mirror Jade back into the extra deck, and trigger infantry to pop a face-up card in the field. Now, before the Mirror Jade gets sent back, we have the Rinbrum being sent to the graveyard through the Mirror Jade to non-target banish away the Poseidra. Say goodbye to the Quem as we now summon the Elemental Lord to discard or at least attempt to get rid of the Druid Swarm from in hand. We're going to chain the Druid Swarm, banishing away our Quem. As we now Cartesia fuse with the Druid Sword and Serenir for a board load to trigger the Druid Swarm to send a face-up special summon monster to the graveyard, further triggering the Serenir to send a branded card from the deck here. And we now have the ability with the board load to pop a card whenever we want. Abyss Shrine is going to get rid of the Pike and herself to summon the Deep Sea King. We have to get rid of this with the board load, otherwise it has the effect to special summon as many level 4 or lower fish as possible from your deck to the field. Pop it, get rid of it, wipe it out. Can't be used. It just shows us, there you go, dead. Not usable. Cartesia add back to the hand. Finish this up. They got nothing. Abyss Shrine requires a card in the hand to discard to then draw a card, and the card you discard ideally would be triggering. It could be a Prince to reborn Poseidra to bounce a card in the field back, or it could be an infantry to pop a card on the field. Let's just speed this up, and then Mermail gets to go first. Dissipator is here. Summon the banished Quem back. Send from the deck the Albaz. 10,000 damage. Let's go. Nicely done, indeed. All right. Abyss Tias is going to send Dragoon, summon itself onto the field here. Return back that dead Nibiru, obviously not activatable during the end phase. We could finger a card in the grave, we could chain banish a card, we could Ash Negate interaction with the deck, we could non-target pop a card on the field, that will be a water. We are, let's go. What's so good about the Abyss Keeper being on the field though? Finger the Lubellion, preventing the search. Not today. Target one of their fish, it doesn't really do anything, we're just got it on the field, sure. Now, Albaz will be discarding to attempt to fuse, and the Gamer or the Stealth Kraken will banish or pop it, stopping the fusion summon. It's not like Cartesia where you could use your other cards for fusion summon. The card of Albaz itself has to be part of the fusion. Begin. Quem on summon, sending our Albaz. No hand traps in sight, of course. Let's speed up our turn 1 play. Banish with Serenir. Come here into the Bestial Dissipator. Dissipator is going to be interacting with banished cards, reborning back our banished Albaz, tributing off the Dissipator for Lubellion, setting up the Brain of Regained. into Verte Anaconda. Anaconda send the branded fusion to fuse up with the Anaconda and the Albaz going into a Mirror Jade. Now, this is quite nutty. If you Anaconda into Mirror Jade, you have the ability to non-target banish, Reborn Albaz to fuse with their field, and whatever you fuse into being a form of disruption. It's a triple disruption. And we also, with the Quem, could Reborn back the Mirror Jade potentially. And we have Regain, which could Reborn the Dissipator to negate or pop a monster in response to their activation. And then we have Ash, and whatever we fuse with the Cartesia. About 7 disruptions, I would say. Good luck. We do have our finger activatable. Poseidra, send the squad summon, as we're going to target a card in the field and summon from the deck with the squad. Send infantry to bounce away the Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade is going to non-target monster banish, sending the Rinbrum. We're not going to chain fuse with the Mirror Jade. Say goodbye to the Poseidra as the squad summons a Pike. Infantry activate to go in on the Cartesia. Pike is going to send from the hand of Dragoons to search our deck. We're going to be triggering Regain to Reborn back the Dissipator and allow the Cartesia to die. Come to us, Abyss Shrine. We're holding on to the finger. Did not finger the Dissipator. What do we want to finger? We're probably focusing on the Albaz and Rinbrum, which they are waiting from us to summon a Link monster or an Xyz, and then they're going to fire off the Rinbrum, and we're ready with our finger. Abyss Shrine's going to send the Prince to attempt to summon from the deck. What do? Do we finger their Ash? Do we finger their Albaz? We don't finger their Ash. We're attempting to summon a level 7 from the deck, which would be the Deep Sea, very likely. Prince, trigger, Reborn Dragoons. Dissipator, return back their banished card to negate the Prince. No Reborn of Dragoons. Negate. Now, Tias is going to send Dragoons to summon, activate, search for a Mermail, and search for a Sea Serpent. Double search is coming. Earl just wants an extra deck monster to be on the field. He does not care about anything else. Grab another Poseidra. To battle we go, and Matru knows that is what he wants to do. Well, it's now main phase 2, and end phase potentially into Rinbrum Albaz. Mind you, this is a mind game. I know he's going to do something in the end phase, so I'm going to hold on to the call by and not set it. Otherwise, I would not be able to activate it in the end phase play. This is the bait. I threw it out there, take the bait so I could finger you, and maybe Earl is not going to do it. You can't Rinbrum on your own turn. He does it. Of course, we saved the finger for this play, for this very reason. Now, we would have been in a really bad spot had he not activated the Rinbrum. What? You can't preempt your finger in the end phase. He'll dodge it. He would then chain the Rinbrum. Now, it's not that big of a deal. Obviously, we got this duel in the bag. Now, do we actually? Do we have a form of disruption? To the untrained eye, it looks like we have nothing, but we do have the ability to trigger the Prince to Reborn a Poseidra to return a card in the field back to the hand. Is that good enough? I don't think so. And we could do so with the Engrave Abyss Shrine. We're going to, with the Retribution, add back our Branded Fusion. Abysslacia searching for another Abyss Shrine. Setting up with Millennium. You what, mate? We're going to be searching for a Golem. Golem into the back row. Summon. Now, it's important to note with Branded Fusion how this card works is you cannot summon from the extra deck except Fusion the turn you activate this card. You cannot summon Dissipator and then later activate Branded Fusion. You can't go into a zombie vampire, then later activate Branded Fusion. But clearly you saw Branded Fusion be used in the same turn that we summoned a Dissipator. Well, we cheated by summoning an Anaconda, which gets around the restriction. So this version of Branded becomes much less accessible or viable had we not had Anaconda. Summon our Doom Dragon, push the Abysslacia, special summon the Cartesia, further go into a Baron to Floor. Not activatable. Cannot be used. Now we're going to Abyss Shrine, send the Prince, search for an Ash, activate Prince, Reborn Poseidra, but, I mean, we can negate, mate, double negate, not today. Poseidra's not going to be able to send from the deck to return a monster to the field back, and just like that, over 12,000 damage with a non-activatable Branded Fusion in hand. Lethal damage. Synchro Branded. We have Synchro Branded, regular Branded, We have Gem Knight branded, all 3 in the top 16. Tempa. Let's go into the Fiendsmith Requiem. Engraver is here. We have nothing activatable, so we're going to go all out with our turn 1 play. Unfortunately for Rentos playing Tearlament, Bystials are going to be banishing up their fusion plays. We can negate a special summon, an effect that activates a special summon. Activating to summon the Fenrir is not an activation, it just special summons, thus not negatable. We do have a Drill Beam, which is activatable. We also have Ash, so double special summon negate and banish anything. Ash negate an interaction, banish from Engrave with the Baldrake. We're going to Druiswarm, attempt to banish the Requiem as we use the Caesar to negate and destroy. Now, we're possibly setting up a Fiendsmith in Paradise, which would be 6 disruption, as we're now down to 5. Let's summon the Requiem, summon the Crimson Tear, and set up the Paradise here. On a special summon, we could trigger it to send a card from the field to the grave. And this is it. Activate the Desiree, get rid of the Fenrir. Such an amazing response to a Fenrir special summon. Tear Cash is going to be destroyed. Instead of milling 3, it will mill 2 instead. And no body on the field. Let's get that random mill 2. Random Lee off the top of the deck. Nothing so good. Foolish Burial. Ash. Negate. What are we left with, mate? We have Drill Beam and Baldrake. That's it. Now, Baldrake you can consider double disruption. Did not Drill Beam the Crimson Tear, giving us access to a Requiem and an Engraver, because we probably feel good enough with the Baldrake to deal with it, and then we're going to Drill Beam something else. Come forth. Engraver from the deck. Engraver is going to return back the Crimson Tear, attempting to reborn here as we Baldrake banish away. Mermail is dead. The random mill 3 did not happen. Requiem onto the Engraver to send a monster from the field to the grave. Let's get rid of it. We're not going to Drill Beam. We're just holding. We don't know what that card in the hand is. As we hold it, and we are fine. We have the recycling of Barrel plus Drill Beam. Let's speed this up. You do want to Drill Beam, because you're just going to reset it back on the field right away. No downside in doing so. We also have our own Fiendsmith plays. I gotta say, seeing both players play Fiendsmith with Moon being banned further solidifies why we need Moon banned for our custom ban list. Definitely not going back on that. I thought that this wouldn't really be a viable deck to play with Moon being banned. He does not care. We did not deter him one bit. Come forth, Fiend, Smith, Desiree. And there have been many moments where we witness where they could have made a Moon in the Closed Heaven to further extend their plays, and they were not able to, but the deck is still great. Agnum Day. Reborn during the battle phase, 4,600 to the face. 1-0. If I were a tier player, I wouldn't be feeling great here. I know his deck is filled to the brim with Bystials, and that hard counters our plays. Droll, Nibiru, Veiler. What do you veil? You veil the Kick Cow. Scream is going to be searching for a trap. Neprum is going to be reborning. Send a card if you do, and you send the card by effect. It's perfect for Tearlament. Triggering the Tear Cash to mill 2 as we search our deck here, and we're going to Droll you. So your effect to search your deck is now no effect. Ooh, we got a Sharon and a Hobness here. Return them back into our Kick Cow, which could send from the deck. We do want to veil this definitely. While we can't search, we can still send, and then we lose the effect of being able to reborn and mill 5 cards. Let's triple Tactics Talent. Look at the hand. Get rid of the Nibiru. I do think it's fair to compare Pot P. Hey, Moon is banned. What are you doing? No. Exciton was his Moon as he went into the freaking Requiem off of that. We don't have a Requiem Paradise play. I don't think we're playing Paradise in this deck anyway. Rebellion. Search our deck. We cannot stop that. Can negate a monster on the field twice. Can negate a special summon once. And just like that, negate and destroy the Druid Swarm. Since we destroyed it, we have to send a tier card. We're going to send the Rukal, reborn the Rukal back. She's not going to come back again if sent to the grave. Engraver is going to attempt to search. We need 2 monster effects on the field, or even a 3rd monster to be able to banish with the Little Knight. Sending the Fiendsmith in Paradise. Lurie into the Requiem. Can't negate the Requiem as it summons from the deck a Fiendsmith Engraver. To battle we go. Say goodbye to the Little Knight as we're now down to Imperm and Sulliek. When Sulliek negates a monster by sending Rukal, it's not coming back. Sulliek is now dead. We just have Impermanence. Reborn back the Engraver. Let's further turn these 2 bodies into a sequence, which we very simply just Imperm negate. Got you, mate. Now we still have Paradise in Graveyard. In response to a special summon, we could send a card from the field to the grave. And we do have the recursion of Engraver for the next turn. Typhon is here. Ain't no way. 3,000 attack or higher. Cannot activate no matter where they are. With our own Engraver. Reborn. Trigger the Paradise. Ash negate the Paradise. You what, mate? It's sent from the deck or extra deck to the grave. Of course we're not sending from the deck. I'm sending from the extra deck, but I don't know that until the resolution, thus I do get to negate. We have our Requiem pass. Sulliek is freaking dead. Our own Engraver activate, return back, reborn, link off into our own Requiem. Requiem summon from the deck into Crimson Tears, send Engraver here, normal Ash. We're gonna return back the Requiem. It's a non-target return, so if we activate the summon from the deck, whatever we summon will get returned back. Not enough for lethal damage. As we MP2 this up into our own copy of Little Knight on summon, we're going to banish away the Engraver. Now, I will look at the graveyard after this turn ends as we now make a Princess. The Princess states that we're going to draw a card if a monster is sent from the hand of either player's hand to the graveyard to activate any card or effect. Now, Little Knight being our main form of disruption will banish in response to anything activating. Do we have any recursion here? We lost 1 Engraver. We still have the other Engraver. Now, the other Engraver needs a Light Fiend. We do have a Light Fiend. We can reborn this. We're good. Sharon off the top of the deck. Normal Sharon, as it will be usable at the Sulliek. As we're now going to Sulliek, negate. And since we negated, we send. Since we sent, we're going to fuse. Let's do it. All within the battle phase. Requiem is going to be returning the... Lacreem is going to return the Requiem, that is, to summon the Requiem. I think I just messed that up twice. Kit Cal is here on summon searching for the meta noise. Still within the battle phase, take out the Requiem. Now, Requiem only activatable during the main phase. Woo! Damn! Should Little Knight have banished the Sulliek? I mean, he's thinking that back row card is dead, it's trash, maybe it's a Triva Karma that he set or some nonsense, but that Sulliek was everything. Triggering the Fusion Summon, getting the Kick Cow out, getting rid of one of the Engravers when we already had another Engraver to reborn. 1-1. DD Crow and a Bestial for my Tearlament. You what, mate? We got a Droll Ogre 5 hand trap hand. What the? Sharon's gonna trigger. Druid Storm's gonna banish. No fusion play for you. It's okay, we have Foolish Burial, but then the Foolish Burial could either get negated by the Ash or crowed. It's gonna get crowed. DD freaking Crow. This is where Rento's gonna get pissed. I am now pissed. What the hell is that? Just because the announcement of Mermail going to 1 was enough for you to now want to play Crow in your deck? Well, we have Imperm, and that's it. Dead Nephilim, dead Fairy Tale Snow. All 3 cards required our normal summon for the turn. Let's Imperm, negate the barrel. No set of Drill Beam for you. Now, we do get to normal summon the Nephilim next turn, but unfortunately the Nephilim will get negated by the Ash. Load's gonna summon for the deck a Dippity Doodah as we now make a Heretic Seal. And Dippity will go into the Requiem. We can't activate the special summon Requiem. Ooh, we could non-target return a card face up. We could summon, go into the Paradise. We could Droll, we could Ogre, we could Ash. We still have 5 forms of disruption. We're gonna Imperm, negate the Heavenly Sphere. Now, the Heavenly Sphere is going to return back the Lordy Load here. and then activate to summon a dragon from the deck, which will be a Baldrake, which will be a form of disruption. So we lost a disruption, again a disruption. Neprum summoned and didn't activate. On summon, add a Gem Knight card from your deck to your hand. Huh. Crimson Tear, send the Paradise here. During the main phase, additionally summoning the Iolites. Wipe away both bodies on the field. Do we have an MP2 play? Yes, we do, as we go into a Time Thief Redoer, which is not really a play. We're going to now summon back on the field the Requiem. On their turn, we're going to steal a card off the top of their deck. Ideally, it is a trap, which would turn the Redoer into a form of disruption. Ogre is going to pop the Redoer. Redoer is going to dodge the Ogre. Detach on resolution, banish until the end of the turn. This will trigger the Neprum if we wanted to send the snow with only 6 cards in the grave. That wouldn't be very good. Well, that's it. We got out-resourced. We are spent. And I feel like Kest didn't really do anything. That's just what happens, I guess, with this type of deck. Let's go. It's not just Bestial with Fiendsmith, it's also with the Primite engine, meaning he could play more hand traps if he wanted to, instead went for Primite. I think some people don't even play Fiendsmith when they're playing with Primite. They could play just Primite with the Bestials. 5,400, lethal damage, 2-1 victory, hopping into another duel in the top 8. Let's go. No hand trap from Hipster. Hipster at 45 cards. We have seen another Maliss deck at 60 cards. Let's speed this up. Sage, grab the Mausoleum, send a Blue Eyes from the deck to the graveyard. Spear with Eyes of Blue, reborn the Blue Eyes White Dragon, trigger the Maiden in Grave. Let's go into our level 9 Synchro play and end. Now, with this setup, we could non-target pop 1 card in the field with the Majesty. We could finger a card in Grave. We could Ashen Interaction with the deck. We could use a Veiler to negate a monster on the field. We could use the Spirit Dragon to go into an ultimate to negate the activation of a card in the field. About 5 forms of disruption. I'm not counting the graveyard negate effect. Underground, non-target pop. Now, Underground can only be activated once. Had we negated the activation through, let's say, a Ghost Bell, another copy would be activatable. Gold Sark for the follow-up, as we're going to chain Spirit Dragon to get out our Ultimate Dragon. Ready to negate only something activated on the field. Meaning the Banish card activating a summon would be a great negate. This is what you'd want to negate, but we can't. Now, why does it matter? Just negate it on the field. When this negates something on the field, it does not destroy it. It remains on the field. So ideally, you don't negate monsters with this, you negate a spell or trap. Which is why we didn't even bother negating, setting up a GWC. Normal summon, take Tomborg into the Cherubini. Binny, send from the deck a Chessie. Magnum Hut, banish away the Chessie. I'm gonna finger your Chessie. Fingered away. Dead Bestial. Dead Underground. Dead MTP. Dead GWC. Dead Binny. It's all dead. And that's what you get for Dormouse being banned. Spirit Dragon Reborn off of the ultimate dying in the end phase. Now, can we really do... We could try to stall here. We could get a body on the field, body on the field, body on the field, body on the field, all alongside the Binny. So we could do that. We have Sage searching for a Veiler. Magnum Hut banishing away the Maiden. Roar the Blue Eyed, summon a Blue Eyes from the deck. Activate the Wishes to go into the Super Fusion. We can now attack every single body on the field. 2,900 over the Binny. Reset a trap from Engraved Majesty. Even if we survive this, there's no way we could win, surely. But we don't have enough to threaten lethal damage. As we now Spirit Dragon into main phase 2. MTP, search for nothing as I ash you. Could follow up GWC something potentially. Get around the hard once per turn activation clause. We do not, as we grab a Druiswarm. We do, still within the end phase. We're going to reborn the White Rabbit, set a TB11, Druiswarm, banish away the Blue Eyes White Dragon, chain the True Light to reborn the Blue Eyes back, chain the TB to summon from the deck. What? We summon the Cryptor. Now, what's going on here? This is improperly summoned, but that's okay. The TB11 states that for the rest of this turn, only the turn it's summoned, that summoned monster cannot attack and neither player could activate its effects. It is activatable on the next turn to banish a card on the field, non-targeting. And this is only possible because there's 3 or more cards on the field for TB11 to go straight into a improperly summoned Cryptor. Ultimate Spirit Dragon, which cannot stop the Cryptor. Don't try. Okay. Banish away the Ultimate Spirit. As we now White Rabbit into Lingaribo. Let's activate the Underground. We chose to not use the Majesty to pop, or because there is a Lingaribo on the field. So this is a really interesting scenario where you can't, as soon as they activate with the Underground, we can't use Valor and the Majesty to pop the Underground because this will jump off the field to negate the Majesty. Thus, we have to wait on a separate chain to even use the Majesty. We're going to chain True Light to try to reborn back the Blue Eyes that the Jerusalem is trying to banish. Not today. Why is Maliss being played if it's banned? Dormouse is banned. X-Ray Zeal is banned. Maliss itself is not banned. Now, you could argue that they should not be playing Maliss with Dormouse banned, but isn't that interesting? That with Dormouse banned, the deck is still great? Doesn't that make whatever upcoming ban list to come out to be even more hopeless, as we know it is not going to be to the level of banning Dormouse? White Rabbit, come back. And honestly, that was my plan. I wanted to create a scenario where we hit Maliss worse than the upcoming ban list, and to showcase to you all that it's still a great deck, so that you could further doom on the upcoming ban list. Banish 3 cards from either player's graveyard. We're going to Majesty, try to pop, but the Wicked says, you can't do that, mate. Cyberse monsters, this points to, could not be destroyed by card effects, and also this Link Summon card could not be destroyed by card effects. Whoops. I think we're gonna lose anyway, right? Like, do we have to say that he lost because of a misplay? Maybe? Let's do this. GWC, reborn back our White Binder as we search for another Mouse in Underground. Red Ransom, reborn back, banish a Dotscaper from the deck, come forth back onto the field as we further go into access the codes. Boost up to 5,300 attack. Non-target, wipe away the True Light. We can do something. If we have something chainable, if we could chain to the True Light, then the Spirit Dragon cannot negate it and they lose their entire field. I don't think we have anything chainable. We do. We have a trigger. Gotcha. Mandatory trigger for the non-turn player will be on the lower chain link. The optional trigger will be higher before you could respond to it. Thus, you got blocked. Blocked up, mate. Wipe the field. And just like that, lethal damage. Well done. By banishing the binder, it ensured a chain link block. Let's go. 45, open up the shifter. Bingo, reveal 3 and randomly grab one of them. Let's discard a card from our hand. We're not gonna need that Fool Loss. We got the Roar, the Blue-Eyed Dragon, plus a Valor. Normal the Sage, grab another Valor. Valor, by the way, is not even legally activatable. You don't put it to the banishment to negate a monster in the field. You put it nowhere, it stays in your hand. It is going to negate nothing. Drew Swarm is going to be added after the Magnum Hut banishes. What do we have? Dead, dead, dead. We can Spirit Dragon into ultimate, maybe negate something. So 1, disrupt. We're gonna force them to jump off into the ultimate spirit. And let's now MP2 up our plays. This takes up our normal summon, where normally it's just a special summon, and that was Hipster's own fault, whether he meant to do that or not, by summoning the Magnum Hut and the turn. So we didn't really immensely capitalize off of the shifter. Let's now, under no longer being affected by shifter, our cards are now safely going to the graveyard as the Spirit with Eyes of Blue searches for the Mausoleum. Druid Storm banishing away the Valor. Baldrake will banish it instead, thus the Druid Storm is stuck in your hand. You have already committed to a normal summon, and there's no Maiden in grave. But the Mausoleum can additionally normal summon a tuner, which could be our Veiler to go into a level 9 Synchro. And that's exactly what we're doing. But the Baldrake can now attempt to banish the Spirit Dragon, which could jump off into defense and then it dies during the end phase. Huh. This is, we just let it die. Okay, yep. Off the top of the deck, White Rabbit is here setting up the TB11, which we could just Ash, banish, Ash, negate. And let's now trigger the White Rabbit to come back. We can further link this up into a Red Ransom, activate to search our deck for a Mouse in Underground, banish from the deck. Dormouse is banned, and apparently we're still better than Blue Eyes. Let's further go into Access Code Talker, Bob Boost up to 5,300. We're going to banish away, summon Druid Swarm, pop the Mausoleum, trigger the Ransom, summon, banish from the deck, Chessie, banish March Hare, draw 2. Don't mind if I do, Druid Swarm, banish away the Blue Eyes White Drac. Yeah, just let's get out of here. In the top 4, we have Fiendsmith Control with Moon of the Closed Heaven banned. We have Maliss at the top with Dormouse banned. Yet they're still in the top 4. Let's go. White Rabbit set into the back row. Our TB11. We do have Maxi and Apollo also banned. Some for the deck, Chessie Cat. I mean, that's something I have to also emphasize. It's not just Dormouse banned. Apollo and Maliss is one of the main abusers of Apollo. So even if the next ban list were to ban Apollo and limit to 2 Dormouse, obviously that would not be enough, Konami. You got to do more. Nibiru, tribute off the field since you no longer have Apollo to play around my Nibiru efficiently. Not today, ending the turn just like that. Imperm, Druid Swarm, Ash. We have Engraver to pop off from here. And you know what's great? If we Ash the Tract, thank you, we can't normal summon and make a Moon. Nope, that's it. Moon's banned. You gotta chill. You can't make any other crazy plays. You're just gonna Nibiru pass. Great. Fine. We are seeing in action the downside of, or I should say upside, of Apollo being banned. We got to Nibiru. Moon being banned. We get to end our turn. We can't further extend off of this. Now, even with these 2 hits, these decks are clapping it up. Lingaribo is here. March Hare is going to be banishing from the grave the White Rabbits. Now, why didn't we DD Crow? It doesn't target. We don't know if he would have another card in hand to banish. We don't know if it would have whiffed. Also, if there is another, there's Chessie in the graveyard. There's a TB11, so we wouldn't be able to stop it. We are going to Droll in Lockbird. In response to the Droll in Lockbird, before it resolves, we're going to MTP, search our deck. Ash is going to negate. Not only search, it would non-target banish away the Nibiru. We have DD Crow, we have Druid Swarm. Let's use Mouse in the Underground, banish from the deck, Chessie Cat. That is, I believe, our second copy of that, as we now make an Almirage. Almirage with a hand trap or a non-Cyburst is to make a Cyburst to now make a Splash Mage. That is the core reason of playing Almirage. Now, let's White Binder, and even more so, we now have the backup Ignister and Wizard special summonable off the hand trap going into an Almirage. March Hare, add back to the hand here after we banished away. I mean, it's so immensely overlooked how crazy it is that White Binder just banishes 3 cards on both players' turns. With a graveyard-focused strategy, that is nuts. Our recursion of Fiendsmith is now gone. Now, we didn't have another Light Fiend anyway. Access the codes, non-target, pop away the Nibiru, 11,000 damage on the field, make that 13,000, make that Cryptor being able to banish the Druid Storm if you want to summon that. Yup, wait, we don't have a banish card until we activate the TB11. Let's TB, banish thee, non-target, banish you away. Now, are we off on lethal damage? Dormouse doesn't, oh, well, we have that. Dormouse gives your field an additional plus 600 onto all your Maliss monsters, which would hopefully now deter them from having easy lethal with access code talker and another link. But of course, the third body in the field will give us that much needed damage for game. 1-0. Oh, Oh, whoopsies, you didn't shifter me. What the heck? You had one job, draw face shifter. And if you play with my correct in-game settings, you will never accidentally forget, even if your hot pockets are ready, you're watching or doing something else, you will guaranteed have the chance to shifter. Tracked. Now I'm gonna shifter. Well, we don't have to discard the Lurie. We'll discard the Baldrake, banish, set Lurie pass. Oh my Jesus, doesn't even freaking matter. What the hell? Wow. 2 games, the dude's got shifter. What the shift is this? Drone Lockbird is not even activatable under shifter, completely dead. Now, Hipster isn't making crazy plays beyond the shifter as we're not able to segue into anything Maliss related. Little Knight, backed up by the Baldrake banish on summon, plus an impulse. We got triple disruption. Off the top of the deck, we can now use the Lubellion. Lubellion search for our own Druid Swarm, but we can't segue into Moon. No Moon play for you. You can't normal Droll alongside a Bestial, then pop off. So what do? Gotta make simple plays. Take out the opposing player here, set the Paradise, which is super dead, does nothing. Bell negates a Bestial. Summon, negate, or Impulse Mate, double negate onto the Bestials. And just like that, Maliss advancing into the grand finale. 2-0. Ban shifter. It's like, do we really want to ban a card that I think only one player is playing in the whole top 16 in his 45 card deck and is randomly freaking opening it? We have Pirellia, draw per summon from the hand. Branded, fuse it up into our Lubellion Searing. Discard on summon to further fuse. Into our Mirror Jade, straight away. Albion Shrouded, send from the deck. And now we are setting up. We have Imperm plus Mirror Jade non-target banish here. We have Albaz Engraved to Reborn with the Rinbrum to then fuse with their field into a form of disruption and a Druid Storm and a Nibiru. It's about 6 forms of disruption. Mr. Island, special summon our Pakari. We still have our open normal summon. Sigma, while we have no extra monster, special summon from the hand or grave. Into our Allenbert search. We may imperm this. As we do, negate. No search for the Mathmech Circular. Circular is too good. And then we would be able to Allenbert trigger the Circular by reborning back the Sigma. Let's normal the Chessie. Wait, I stopped you from getting that and you still got it. Circular, send, summon. We're going to non-target banish away the Allenbert so you can't trigger the Circular. We're now going to attempt to Rinbrum and fuse away with the Circular. I'm going to finger your Albaz just like that. We lose the ability to fuse, and then whatever we fuse into, we're now left with a Druid Swarm and a Nibiru. Oh, we're going to just Nibiru the field. We're not waiting with the Druid Swarm to banish whatever he wants to target. Wipe the field. That is enough to end our turn. Well done. Earl GB with the Branded Regain plus the Druid Swarm to banish. Also Retribution to add back the Branded Fusion. This is over. Let's speed this up. Flame on. Albion, Branded Dragon off of the Branded Fusion. Activate the Fusion Summon, banishing away the Mirror Jade and Albaz for another Mirror Jade. Trigger the Regain, return back the Albaz, draw a card. Druid Swarm, banish away the Sigma. 11,000 damage to the field, but that's not enough for Earl GB. We're going to send their monster with the Druid Storm, and just like that, 11k for game. Damn. We are now going first. We are dealing with a Fool Loss, which may be used outside the main phase, which would ensure that the Triple Tactics talent cannot be used until they Baldrake or Nibiru. Let's see what happens. All right, well, looks like we may get an early use of the Triple Tactics to rip out the Baldrake or Nibiru. As he full losses on the resolution of the Achichi, let's take a look at that hand and say no to the Temple. Well, I mean, we're under the full loss and we don't really want to summon beyond that. Okay, Wow, Earl with no play. Top decking into no starter, ain't no way. As we Signet Mining, say goodbye to the Sigma, searching for the Circular, which could reborn from a grave, but ideally after we get Circular out on the field. We know what's in their hand, besides the Impermanence. That is the only unknown. Did not Baldrake banish the Sigma. We do have Alumbert, and the unknown card has now been revealed. Imperm negate the Alumbert, and beyond that, we know exactly that they have Baldrake and Nibiru. Understanding that, we know we're on our 4th summon as we search for the Ignister Island, and we now know we are in the Nibiru zone. We could turn a Nibiru token into a Link Spider if we play it, and we don't. I meet you, and the Link Spider would ensure that we could special summon the backup Ignister. Now, this is a situation. You may be thinking we could just wait on Nibiru as long as they don't set up a negate. Well, if we summon a monster that the Gachiri could make unaffected by Nibiru, then we'd probably want to Nibiru early. And you could be thinking, let's wait for them to summon that card, and then Gachiri activates to make the card unaffected from Nibiru, then we Nibiru. What if they make an access code talker, and I guess it would just be unaffected? Is that a big a deal? Well, we're not going to wait to find out. Let's just tribute off the field, wipe it. So access code talker would ensure that the Nibiru cannot be used in response to Gachiri making it unaffected from Nibiru. We do have Baldrake to banish away this Sigma preemptively, not on the activation of its summon as it already activated this turn. We're going to special summon the backup Ignister, searching for the wizard. Is Earl in big trouble or what? Burst, Wicked is here, triggering the Baldrake to banish away the Wicked, and now I can't summon my wizard. I need to have a Cyber summon from the extra deck to even summon it, which would be a Link Spider if I played it. Burn for 23 from the I Meet You. Normal the Veiler into Anaconda. Hold up. Where's Branded Fusion? It's in the deck. Let's go. I was going to say that we have 2 copies. Send from the deck, fuse away into our Mirror Jade, 5,700 life. So for sure we are going to survive. And we're going to wait on the Mirror Jade banish. Now, Nibiru into attack. Let's go in onto Nibiru. Let's non-target banish away the token. We have the Rinbrum, plus a card in hand, and Albaz Engraved, ensuring that whenever we want, we're going to fuse with their opposing fields. A mistake we can make, I would say, is to get rid of their Mirror Jade so that they could summon another one. And that's only if we had a play. We have a dead Maliss and Mirror. Ain't no way. What the heck happened here? A Chi-Chi is going to destroy the monster in the damage step, so we take no damage. Okay. Non-target banish. Fuse with our field. Into a fusion. Into the retribution, negating a special summon. 4 disruptions, and you don't even have a play. Nothing. What the? 3K to the face. Juristorm's not enough for lethal. Would only be summonable in the main phase. Bro. What is going on? Where are your starters? Where are your Maliss cards? There's no Maliss in your graveyard, nothing in your hand. There's not even a single Maliss card banished among the 6 cards banished. I could not believe this. 2-0 victory for a duel that didn't look so good for Earl, at least a few points within it. Huh. Hipster with Dormouse Band still playing Maliss at 45 cards. Against at the bottom, we have Earl GB with Branded, but not a regular Branded, as you can see with Millennium. It is Synchro Branded, and if you perform any non-fusion play from the extra deck before or after Branded Fusion, it's not possible. You can't do it, not within the same turn. Hajime. Start this off with our Millennium, activating a special summon from the back row. We did not want to impulse that, searching for the Golem. Golem further putting itself in the back row. Special summon, search our deck for a Wedju Temple. As we now Wedju Temple, put the Fool off the back row, plus our Millennium to summon our Doom Dragon. And now, Branded Fusion's illegal. We cannot use Branded Fusion this turn. It's not just milling, you're also special summoning, thus the Impulse will negate. And by using Impulse, we now cannot activate Light, Earth, or Wind monsters for the rest of this duel. we're going to use the Anaconda, using the effect of Branded Fusion, getting around the restriction of summoning a non-fusion for the extra deck. And when you go into Anaconda, it gives you triple disruption. It's a non-target banish with the Mirror Jade. It's an Albaz fused with their field with the Rinbrum. And then whatever we fuse into will be a disruption. And then we have the Impermanence. We also have a Druiswarm, about 5 forms of disruption. White Rabbit off the top of the deck. We're going to special summon the Terratop. Terratop can't activate because you impulsed, as we're now going to Imperm negate the Chessie. This should have been a 1-card play, unfortunately. Chessie not able to banish by cost. As we now go into a Link Decoder, we're going to March Hare, further banish the Chessie here to get 2 extra bodies on the field. And now we're going to Mirror Jade, non-target banish away the Link Decoder. As we further Druiswarm banish our Albaz. And then we say, never mind, I'm going to activate the Rinbrum to dodge our own Druiswarm. We like change our mind? Are we trying to bait something? And the Baldrake is going to be banishing the Albaz instead. So the Druiswarm is not a disruption. The Albaz gets banished, and then the fusion we summon can't be summoned. We're at nothing. Nada. 0 disruption. Well, I counted 5, right? 5 went to 0. Holy crap. Let's go into the access code talker. Access the codes. Boost it up. Wipe away the Mirror Jade, which will now be activating to wipe away the field of monsters during the end phase, if there is an end phase. Now, a lot of you think this is lethal damage. This is not enough. It's 76, we didn't Dormouse boost, but the Red Ransom banishes another card from the deck, and if that card has not been banished yet, that will be enough for the lethal damage we need. 8,800, everything can attack directly. There's no downside stopping us here. And we're also at 2,000 life. Anaconda dropped us. I mean, what the heck else dropped us? Earl at 2, the freaking Millenniums. Millennium, and a freaking Conda. Golem into the back row, activate to summon for the back row, searching our Wedju Temple. Wedju Temple, put a monster in the back row plus a monster from our deck. We do have the ability to reborn the Albaz, fuse with their field. Regain could reborn back the Dissipator to pop or negate a monster. Cartesia could fuse into a form of disruption. We could Druiswarm banish in the graveyard. I'll say that's about 5 disruption. Imperm draw phase on the Cartesia, only activatable in the main phase. So we did lose out on that. White Rabbit is going to trigger Regain to reborn the Dissipator. As we set from the deck here, dead White Rabbit, dead Take Tomborg. Into a desperate TB11. Desperately banishing away to summon from the deck, not Dormouse, but a Cryptor. What'd it do? Nothing. Can't be activated, can't attack, not properly summoned, but it is a Link 3 to help make an access code talker, I would think. Is that gonna be good enough? Well, Regained as the non-turn player against Maliss is a disruption because it will always be the higher chain link to return back a banished Maliss activating to summon, but return it back in the deck instead. Uh-oh. Take Tomborg dead, White Rabbit in hand dead, and we can't make the access code talker play, and we can't attack. I don't think we thought we could, right? Let's now Albaz fuse with the Cryptor. Because it's improperly summoning Grave, if it were to get banished, it does nothing. It just gets banished, you then cry, you surrender. Let's take this into lethal damage. Finish him. Game 3, we go. Let's go. Ooh, lost in the draw phase. Ain't no way. I wanted to link off, back up, search, pop off from there. We have a pretty good hand, a great one. And are we willing to just pass on an impermanence? Are we willing to at least maybe commit into minimally as much as we could do into a ransom to search for the ability to non-target, banish with the MTP, negate with the impermanence, negate with the Maliss and Mirror? How many draws will we have to give them here to achieve that? Imperm negate the chest, eating up at least one form of disruption. Maybe we're going to be more likely to commit into our ransom summon. Oh, we're committing. Link decoder, don't mind if I do. Draw one. What are our forms of disruption? What do we have to worry about here? There is a big ruling situation with the branded fusion I'm going to talk about in a second, but we have the ability to negate anything and banish the card, negate a monster on the field, non-target banish a card in the field, non-target banish a card in the field again with the Cryptor. With about 4 forms of disruption, we can maybe count this as 5 if we're able to reborn the binder back and banish cards in the grave. That might be beneficial. So for sake of counting the ceiling I would say is 5. Now, what's the ruling? If this negates, it negates the activation. If Branded Fusion states you could only activate 1, I could activate another one if this is the card that chooses to stop my Branded Fusion. This is why you would need Ash Blossom. And I think it's very likely that this will be used to stop Branded Fusion and we just have another one. What do you think, chat? Is he gonna negate this? Which 100% we then get to use the other one. He didn't! What? Let's go! Lubellion, Searing Dragon, discard the Retribution. Serenir Chainlink block here if he wanted to negate and banish the Lubellion Searing. Not gonna happen. Imperm, negate. Hipster ain't falling for it, mate. Send the Bishop Lubellion with the Serenir. Special summon the Ecclesia. We have not committed to the normal summon yet. Special summon Albash in the deck. Discard the other Branded Fusion. As we attempt to fuse to their field, we're going to negate and banish the Albaz. And now we are at 3 forms of Disrupt. One of them is quite weak. Just to remind you, we have 2 non-target banishes, and we can banish up to 3 cards from their grave. Banish. What? What? No way! Gianna, check his PayPal right now. Did Earl send him any money? No way, Hipster. I think Hipster was supposed to win this. How could he not win this? We can't go into Zombie Vampire. It's illegal. We're under the restriction of Branded Fusion. We committed. We can't Zombie, we can't Little Knight, we can't Baron to Floor, we can't Dispater or any of that freaking nonsense. We committed to Fusion summons only. We can't Anna freaking Conda. That's it. And they could banish 3 cards from our grave. They could non-target banish 2 more cards on the field. And he freaking lost his connection. Ain't no way. Well, as it can happen in the TCG, you don't bring your juicy cup to the table because it's spilled all over his cards, and that is a DQ win for Earl GB. Nothing we could do. GG, no re. Let's go. Branded and Tearlaments in the top 16. You could argue that I did not touch Memento, and Memento had 3 of them in the top 16 last week. But then it looks like possibly we put a huge target on Tearlament's back by unbanning Mermail, and then a lot of decks that do well against Tearlament were the decks that people chose to play. Now, the Ignister deck was playing Maliss alongside the Maliss, so in a way we have 2 Maliss decks. Did we actually have a pure Gem Knight deck? We're going to be looking into that. Let's see exactly what this looks like. Swag Q at Melodious. Very nice. And then we have Melito with Crazy Tearlament. This looks like a lot of fun to play. And it should still be fun enough to play even without Mermail. And then Ruffy Traffy with the actual turn 2 Gem Knight deck. Again, none of these decks are affecting the tier list. Which we have Muhammad. That's what your intended name is, yes. And we have 60 card deck, extra deck. Very well done. And then we have Honcho, 60 cards here with the extra deck. Very nice. And then MD Chimeron. We also have Higa. Marincess, 60 cards. Diamond Boss, what the heck? It's on the entire freaking screen. And then Matrow with some Mermail. Abomod, looking good. What should Konami learn from these tournaments? That there are a lot of ways to make the game more fun and diverse. You could still have a powerful deck. Seemingly, Tier was the deck to beat in today's event, and people were still able to manage through everyone using Bystials, I guess. Good job, Magate no Saw and Rentos. We kind of had that scenario with Maliss before Ryzeal coming out. We could focus our deck to beat Maliss, and there wasn't really any other prevalently broken deck like Ryzeal to protect them. Well done. And then SK, a lot of 60 card decks today. There's the deck and the extra deck. Maliss still viable with Dormouse being banned, and Apollo. I fear what Konami's going to do with the ban list. That will surely not be enough. Because in a way, Maliss is not broken and not bad with Dormouse banned. It's just where it should be. And can you imagine Konami's like, hey, back to back, Maliss was able to do well in DK's tournament but not dominate it, and we don't have to hit a million cards in the deck, we just hit Dormouse and they're doing well. Yusef, Kest, and then we have the Hipster. I know a lot of you want to ban Splash Mage, Link Decoder, but what comes with that is collateral damage with other decks. We don't want to be hurting. I mean, you probably hate any other Cyber deck and you're okay with them getting hit. And then Earl GB. Mate. Good job, Earl, on this top. Synchro. There was a mistake here. The Dissipator is supposed to be a Baron to floor. I know you did at least summon that. If not, we could just DQ you, all's well, either or. And here is the main. I remember looking into this a while ago. I forgot exactly how we benefit from this. What is the main trick here? It's summonable in some way. How do we summon this? I mean, it's in our hand. A monster special for your main deck. Special summon this card from your hand. But on summon, what's the play with this? It's a turn 0 Albaz. That's all it is. Okay. So you're supposed to hard draw this. It's just a hand trap. Turn 0 Albaz. Special summon a monster from your hand or deck whose attack equals its own defense with the same attribute as that monster. So you Ecclesia, then summon Albaz. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah. Ecclesia into Albaz. All right. Good job, Earl GB. Appreciate all of you for today's event, including the chatters, the viewers, and everyone. Let's go.